Takuma Inoue just pulled off the biggest win of his career, knocking out former champion Jerwin Ancajas and further cementing his position as one of the 4 champions at Bantamweight. But how exactly did he pull that off? Hello, kamusta? My name is Gino, and today we're breaking down this fight round by round and learning how Takuma Inoue dismantled Jerwin Ancajas. Before the fight even starts, you can immediately see how much bigger Jerwin Ancajas is compared to Takuma Inoue. Ancajas is taller, has a longer reach, and looks physically bigger than Inoue. The first punches are landed by Jerwin Ancajas, a simple 1-2. Inoue saw the jab coming and unsuccessfully attempted a left hook counter. If you look closely, you'll see that Ancajas actually telegraphs his jab. You'll notice that he loads his jab rather aggressively, which is something that Inoue takes notice of. Right here, Ancajas once again does the exaggerated power jab I was talking about, and Inoue reads this, slips, and misses the counter again. It is also worth noting that Ancajas is stepping into the inside, despite being a southpaw. This is the exact same mistake that Marlon Tapales made against Naoya Inoue. Stepping into the inside as a southpaw against an orthodox fighter lines you up with their power hand, which is something that Ancajas does throughout this fight. Ancajas once again throws this jab, stepping onto the inside. Inoue slips it and counters with a hook that just grazes Ancajas. Inoue does something very clever here. He throws the jab, not intending to land it, but to block Ancajas's vision, all while stepping to the outside to land a nice overhand right. A little bit of a slower round for both men, obviously just a feeling out round. I'm scoring this round in favor of Inoue for the effective defense and counterpunching. The score is 10-9 Takuma Inoue. Beautiful defense on display here from Inoue. I mentioned in my previous video that one of Inoue's strong suits is defense. Ancajas correctly steps to the outside, with the jab just being used to get into Inoue's defense. Inoue narrowly avoids the straight right by using his head movement, and because he stepped to the outside this time, Ancajas can actually throw a lead hook. However, Inoue redirects the hook at the very last moment. Had it been anybody else, any other fighter, Ancajas would have landed those shots. Right here, Ancajas throws a jab to the body, stepping onto the inside, putting him in line with Inoue's right hand. Inoue redirects the shot and counters with a straight right that lands flush. This is exactly what happens when you step onto the inside as a southpaw against an orthodox fighter. Let's take a look at this beautiful exchange. Ancajas starts with the jab, and Inoue deflects it with his forearm and throws a straight right counter. Ancajas blocks it. Inoue comes up to throw a lead hook and barely grazes the top of Ancajas's head. Ancajas pivots and throws an overhand left that Inoue ducks under. Ancajas then follows up with a lead hook. Inoue, not seeing it in time, attempts to shoulder roll, but isn't able to stop the shot or soften the blow. A fantastic display of skill from both men. Gotta remember, boxing is like chess, not checkers. Ancajas ends the round with a beautiful lead hook. Ancajas tends to lower his hand when he throws his jab, so Inoue anticipated the jab. But instead, he was met with a hook that takes the round. Close round for both men, very tactical in my eyes. Ancajas was able to take the round with that lead left hook at the end of the round. My score is now 19-19, even. Right here, Ancajas planted his lead foot on Inoue's. Now, I don't think this was deliberate in any way, as it is a common occurrence with southpaws. Inoue was able to avoid the first 2 shots. He was unable to step away from the follow-up due to his foot being caught. A bit of a messy engagement here from Ancajas, but nevertheless, effective aggression. This is exactly what I meant when I said that Ancajas should be trying to step to the inside. As soon as he stepped to the inside with his jab, he immediately eats a straight right hand. Afterwards, Inoue demonstrates why you step to the outside twice. Ancajas ate 3 straight rights. Great work from Takuma Inoue. Ancajas gets caught in between punches. He slipped the right and attempted to counter, but was wide open to counter himself. Inoue lands a left hook and disengages. Another 1-2 from Inoue that pushes Ancajas back. This is exactly why you should be stepping to the outside against a southpaw and vice versa. Great round from Takuma Inoue. I'm scoring this 29-28 in his favor. Ancajas, pushing Inoue to the ropes, lands a clean body shot. Inoue retaliates with his signature triple uppercut, landing 1 for 3. Good work from both men. More uppercuts from Inoue. Inoue is clearly the faster fighter of the two. Ancajas needs to step up his aggression and his punching volume. He's getting outpunched and outpointed. Excellent work from Inoue. An extremely well-timed and well-placed right hand from Ancajas. Definitely the best punch he's thrown this fight. Inoue found himself in a very awkward position coming out of the clinch, and Ancajas capitalized on it. This is probably the best part of this fight, when both fighters decide to go toe-to-toe in the center of the ring. This is where Ancajas flourishes. Ancajas definitely did a bit more damage, but props to both fighters. I don't think that Inoue should have been fighting in the pocket, but it did serve as an exciting round. I am giving this round to Jerwin Ancajas, making the score 38-38 even. Ancajas pushes Inoue into the corner, but doesn't land anything significant. Watch as Inoue rolls and shuffles to the outside, forcing Ancajas into an uncomfortable angle. Inoue temporarily switches to southpaw and lands a right hook and straight left before pivoting out of range and back to orthodox stance. Amazing footwork and countering from Inoue. Ancajas trying to put Inoue into the corner once again. This time, Inoue slips the jab and lands a hook while sliding off the ropes. I'm noticing that Ancajas' speed has declined significantly compared to the last few rounds. His jabs aren't being thrown as fast, and he isn't bringing his hands back to his face. A lazy jab will be countered fairly easily. I mentioned in my previous video that Ancajas does have problems with stamina, but I wasn't exactly expecting him to get tired this early. The rest of the round belonged to Takuma Inoue. Ancajas was just too slow. I think at this point he's getting really tired. His punching form, his technique, and his footwork look really sloppy compared to what we're used to seeing from him. Inoue's superior footwork and stamina is really making the difference in this fight. Dominating round from Takuma Inoue, 48-47 in his favor. Ancajas shows us some pretty clever defense. Inoue comes in with his feint 3-2, blocking the straight with his glove. Notice how Ancajas leaves his lead hand out there in something that I call obstruction. Some people would also call this stiff arming. The idea is to put your arm in the way of the path of the punch, making it difficult for your opponent to land. He then slips the follow-up right and ties up. Great show of defense from Ancajas. Fantastic counter from Ancajas. Inoue overextends his right hand, leaving him out of position and off balance. Knowing this, he resorts to using his body movement as defense to avoid the straight right counter, but he isn't able to avoid the hook that bounces off his shoulder and into his face. Great work from Ancajas. Ancajas is continually stepping to the inside and getting countered for it. He really needs to make that adjustment. The rest of this round is Inoue landing counters and pot shots. Ancajas is clearly slowing down physically and is running out of gas. However, his heart is still there. We can all agree that Ancajas is the physically bigger and stronger man in the ring, yet Takuma is able to wrestle him back with ease. This is a telltale sign that Ancajas is getting tired. Another round for Takuma Inoue, boxing and moving beautifully. Ancajas is clearly tiring and struggling to land anything significant. 58-56 in favor of Inoue. Now don't get me wrong, Inoue is an excellent inside fighter, but that's not where he should be against a guy like Ancajas. They both fought in a phone booth, and Ancajas was able to land more clean shots and counters than Takuma was. A nice left lands from Inoue, catching Ancajas with his hands down. Inoue and Ancajas are once again playing the inside game for the remainder of the round, a place where Ancajas can do some damage. Tactically speaking, Inoue should remain on the outside and negate Ancajas' strengths. Once again, not ideal for Inoue, but ideal for the fans. An incredibly close and competitive round for both men. I personally gave this round to Jerwin Ancajas for landing the harder, cleaner shots. 67-66, Inoue up one round. After watching the entirety of round 8, I could tell that Ancajas was almost done. He seemed to be emptying the gas tank, going for broke, throwing as many punches as he could, making every shot a knockout punch. You could tell how drained he was just from the way he lumbered around, breathing heavily and throwing caution to the wind. While he did land a few punches of his own, to his credit, he stopped defending himself properly and got hit by the much faster Inoue. It is clear that Ancajas has not been able to address his stamina issues. My scorecard is now 77-75 for Takuma Inoue. Here we are, round 9, both men picking up where they left off, fighting each other in a phone booth. Ancajas is visibly fatigued, dropping the fundamentals in favor of slugging with Inoue. Inoue then drops Ancajas with a beautiful uppercut to the liver that ends the fight. Now, I personally wasn't expecting a knockout victory, especially from a guy like Takuma Inoue, but getting hit to the body while being fatigued is a surefire way of getting knocked out. This was a hard-fought victory for Takuma Inoue. While he doesn't possess the same punching power as his older brother, he makes up for it in defense, footwork, and counterpunching abilities. I hope to see him unify against WBO champion Jason Maloney and have the newly crowned WBC champion Junto Nakatani unify against IBF champion Manny Rodriguez. In a perfect world, I'd like to see Inoue go up against Nakatani for the undisputed crown. As for Jerwin Ancajas, it seems like the 2 losses he had against Fernando Martinez have really sapped his confidence as a fighter. Additionally, he really needs to work on improving his stamina as he started to get gassed out by the 5th round. I hope to see him back again in the ring soon, maybe after a few tune-up fights. That's going to be all from me. If you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and this has been Gino's Fight Corner.